Okay, so for my presentation, I chose to do mine on the music genre Chimurenga. So, Chimurenga is a very popular Zimbabwe music style, and it delivers a very social and political protest message to the Zimbabwe people, or as they're called, natively Shona. And it originally began in the 1960s and became popular in the 1970s. And this music style played a key role in uniting the rural areas in order to fight against the white majority parliament. So, Chimurenga means fight or struggle, and it is traditionally a fight in which and everyone at hand participates. So the music is deeply entwined in with the tension between white parliament and the African people. So in the beginning, the British had taken over the Shona people of Zimbabwe in the 1890s, and they had forced them to work on the mines that were native to the Zimbabwe land. And the Shona people would work long hours in the mines, and they were paid very little for their labor. So, not only this, but they were also taxed heavy for the land that they owned and for the animals that they had. So, this forced labor forged a resistance and a unity among the people to overthrow white parliament. So, this actually sparked a war, and it is known as the First War of Independence of Zimbabwe because they didn't actually win the war, but they started to take steps in the direction of gaining independence. So it began in 1896, and went until 1897, and the dispute really started over the fact that the Zimbabwe people had wanted to recover the land and the cattle that they lost. So later on down the road, Chimurenga played a role in the gaining independence from white parliament. So the creator of this genre is this guy right here called Thomas Matfomo, and he, in his early years, played in a lot of various rock bands, which led him to introduce the Western music genre to the people of Zimbabwe. And so he created this genre in 1960s, and during this time he was in his mid-20s. And this is when the Zimbabwe people were experiencing a lot of conflict with the government, and it is what led to the eventual creation of Chimurenga. So this genre contained very many key rock instruments that were involved, and such as the electric guitar and the bass guitar, and it also contained a popular Zimbabwe instrument that we had already learned about in previous chapters, the mbira, and Thomas used this mbira to manipulate it and try to get it to sound like more electric and bass guitars. So later on down the road, he created a band in the 1970s called the Hallelujah Chicken Run Band, and they actually converted Chimurenga from English to the native language Shona, and this actually helped unite a lot of the country and was another key push into gaining the independence for Zimbabwe. So the musical piece that I attached, it doesn't have a song name for it, but it is Chimurenga, and it's from Thomas Matfomo, and it contains a lot of key vocals, the electric and bass guitar that I talked about earlier, and it is also, like I said, sung in Shona, the native language. So it's based off Western rock, and you can hear a lot of the electric and bass guitar in the music as it plays. And it is still sung to this day during times of grief and periods where they feel maybe feeling down, to just sort of lift spirits like it did in the past. So that is the link to my audio clip. So, in conclusion, Chimurenga was created in Zimbabwe by Thomas Mapfumo, and it was deeply entwined with white parliament and the African people. And this music genre helped rally the general population to finally gain freedom from British white parliament. And the music is obviously still played to this day, like I said. And actually, in 1980 is when Zimbabwe had finally gained independence from Great Britain.